Today we're looking at PASCO's ideal gas law apparatus. And what this apparatus is allows us to look at the ideal gas law. And in particular, we're going to be able to measure the pressure, the volume, and the temperature, and see the relationship between those three. So this is the apparatus itself. This we are actually going to plug into a temperature sensor. In this case, I'm going to use PASCO's wireless temp link. And on the other side, this is a valve to measure the pressure, and I'm going to use PASCO's wireless pressure sensor. So if you look at the connectors on the pressure sensor here, you want this tube to be as short as possible so that the pressure reading is as accurate as possible. The longer the tube we have, the less accurate the pressure reading will be. And what we're doing is we're actually looking at the pressure and the temperature inside of this little chamber that's inside here. So there's a little thermistor that's inside there, and then that's where as we adjust our plunger here, that's what's going to change the temperature and the pressure inside there. So let me open up our software and we'll show you how we're going to start collecting data and see the relationship. All right. So we have our Sparkvue software open. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn both sensors on. Okay. I'm going to click on sensor data. And I'm going to first select temperature. The order doesn't matter, but I'm going to select temperature. I don't want to update the firmware right now, and update, and I'm going to select the pressure. All right. So we'll see on the right side here, I see a quick start experiment would be like Boyles Law. Let's go ahead and click on that. And by clicking on that, we can actually see that this Boyles Law is what we can do to determine the volume versus pressure. We can actually make a chart with that. So in order to do Boyles Law, let me go ahead and just unscrew the pressure valve so that it can easily open this. I can set the syringe at 60 milliliters on my gauge, plug in the pressure sensor, and I can press start. So here I can say, hey, my volume for the first run is 60 and pressure is 102. Let's go ahead and hit the check mark. Now I'm going to go down to 50. All right, pressure is 122. I'm going to go down, I'm going to put this on my table now, go down to 40. And record that reading of 152. Go to 30. It's getting much harder to press. And 196. And we're going to try to go down to 20. Actually, about 22 is the minimum I can do. So 22. And there we go. All right. So now on the right side, our data is plotted, which is the volume versus pressure. I can actually use Sparkvue's graph tools to, let me go ahead and stop the recording. We can add a best fit line. And this actually isn't a linear fit. The linear fit doesn't work too well. So I can change this and select inverse fit. And there we go. There's a really nice equation, goes right through our points that can determine the relationship between pressure and volume. And let's say I want to look at the relationship. I already have my sensors connected between pressure and temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and just select graph. And what that's going to do is I have a pressure graph at the top, temperature at the bottom. Right? I have my pressure at 60 over here, or sorry, my syringe at 60, and I'm going to increase the pressure, and let's see what happens to the pressure and the temperature as I press down on the syringe. So I'm going to press start. Let me press down on this. Okay, I'm going to hold it. See what's happening? The pressure is staying pretty consistent. The temperature is dropping. And if I let go of this, right, the temperature actually drops below what was the normal, the room value, the room temperature, and the pressure dropped. So what we're able to see here is that by pressing the syringe in, it actually got really hot inside of that chamber. And by, once the temperature in there, stabilized, by letting go of the syringe, it, pulled the heat away from there and it got really cold inside that chamber. And at the same time, we were able to measure that pressure and during that whole entire process, just to be able to prove that, hey, the pressure in there was really high when we pressed in the syringe and it was really low when we let go of it. Another experiment we can do is kind of the same thing. I'm going to press stop. I'm going to disconnect my pressure sensor. That way I can push in my syringe. Connect this again. And if I press start, I can pull the syringe out and let's see what happens to pressure and temperature. Now the pressure dropped and so did the temperature. And I'm holding this. As soon as I let go, right, we can make a guess what's going to happen to pressure and temperature. I'm going to let go. So the temperature increased and the pressure went back to normal. So this was a quick demonstration on how to use the ideal gas law apparatus to determine the relationship between temperature and pressure. We do have a formal lab available on this. You can download that from PASCO's website. And yeah, your students can determine the different relationships between pressure, volume, and temperature, and hopefully learn something by doing this hands-on experiment. Thank you for watching.